know it's only been a couple of days since my last video, but one of the comments I got from Gary of Carlisle Settle Carlisle, sorry Gary, I forgot, was that he said he'd very much like a tour, and I thought, well, since I've tidied the shed up, why don't I give people a tour of the layout? And Stephen from Elvinholm made me laugh when he commented about Poor Di. I mentioned at the end of the last video, so I've put a little segment just for Poor Di and for Stephen. So Gary, I hope you enjoy the tour. Stephen, I hope you find it amusing, and thank you for giving me the idea. Take care, see you later. So here we go, tour of the layout. So the first point I want to show you is the main station with the postal sorting office. The starting point there, plus then you've got 3 lines coming in, and goes the castle. It's going through 3 lines coming in. I'm just going to bend that back down, and there will be a dock area here with the rails that provide track access to the docks. Then leaving the station, you've got a main line, an up and down line coming through, and you've got a side line coming out here, which I'll go over with later. But basically the train runs up, back through the roundabout there, back of the houses, there will be an allotment there, and we've got the main town. Accordingly, you can see the track side there as it comes through, and the junction leading into the town with the shops on the esplanade there, and the garage and the road going out underneath the viaduct through the level crossing to the distance. From there then, the main lines run past the front of the viaduct and under the castle, and you've got the church, vicar's house, school, castle. There'll be some grounds there for picnickers, and then coming round, the main line runs around the back, of the workers' cottages, and there's a junction here which will take you down to the TMD. The TMD is also another junction which splits it up, which takes it to the coal mine underneath the farm hill, where you can pick up coal and then take it back to the docks. As you can see, then there's a line that runs down in front, it slopes down in front, splits then into 6 different settings for the TMD. Turning round and going back, you'll see I've created this area here to come up and rejoin the junction there. The main line continues through the tunnels and through what I call the farm area. Now the farm area is built on a hill, it's got livestock on there. There's a road leading up from the town, from the bridge, that goes all the way up to the farmer's house, tractor sheds, etc., which I'll carry on populating later. When the mainline train comes out from the tunnels, it runs along this embankment, along past the bridge, and around through what will be another set of tunnels. I haven't finished that yet. As you can see, it goes through, it'll go through the tunnels there. It will then join the bridge, lift out section, and then returns to the train station. And it just carries on going on like that all the time. Just wait for the castle to come through. So from the doorway you can see the full extent of it. It goes up around the top, past the village, past the church, underneath the castle, comes round the other side. It could then come down to the coal or to the TMD, and then that brings it down underneath the farm and out the other side, and back around. Now there's another section to the layout which I'm going to show you now, which needs a bit of switching over. At the moment I can't film and do the switch over, so I'm just going to stop these guys at the station, and then I'll show you the third track, as I call it. Now the third rail, or the third line, is what I like to call the coal mine, and what that does, that swings around towards under the bridge, the pedestrian bridge there, just before the village, swings along there, over the road bridge, comes across the points there in front of the garage, over another river bridge, and joins with the points there and through the tunnel. Coming out of the castle tunnel, it joins the main line, comes down to this junction here. Now at this point it's got an option of coming down this track, which then splits again. The right hand side takes it to the coal mine, the left hand side takes it all the way down to the TMD. Or it can carry on through, runs through into the tunnel underneath the farm. And I'll quickly come down this side, the other side of the farm, and then we've got a switch set of points there that turns it onto the outside line. So it's now on the outside line going through. It'll go through what will be the tunnel along the outside track, and at this point crossing, or after crossing over the bridge just before the station, it's got another set of points, and these sets of points then will take it up from here up to the top line. So the top line is a 2% incline, which then takes that all the way up past the line hut there, which is there for servicing the bridge, past the little pasture and onto the viaduct. Now the viaduct I put in because it represents the Pont-Raven viaduct in the Carmarthen Valley, and my great uncle Tom, he was a foreman in charge of building it, so that's why that's there. That passes through the castle itself and pops out the other side along another bridge, and that represents the one that's that was and still is standing in the Avon Valley, which took the track from one side of the mountain to the other. I'll try and put a picture up. Comes to a set of points here which allows you to either go through the tunnel there or through another tunnel which you just can't see, which brings it down the centre of the farm hill and brings it out on this one here. That needs a wall across it. It runs down above the TMD and around, and this will go into the works area here. There'll be brewery and stuff like that there. Brings it round, joins the inner line again there with those set of points, across the bridge and again back into the station, and those points then allow it to go back onto the third line. Alternatively, it can come out of that third line, come past the village, halt at this point at the bridge here. The points then will change and then bring it down this line, which is the line that takes it down to the docks. So it will reverse down there with the coal wagons all the way down, and then these sets of points will either take it to the inner track or the outer track, where you will unload the coal and goods into the container ship or ships there. So that's the layout for the minute. What I am intending to do is, from this point here, there's going to be another set of points to bring a track out down to here with a turntable in the middle and engine houses around there. This bit here will be hopefully another town scene, continuing the town scene. They may, I haven't decided yet, I was thinking, I don't know, perhaps some suggestion, may take another point off here to meet that turntable here, which will allow the wagon then, once it comes out, to come around and go back in and go the opposite way. So that it goes back through the station on the inner line, takes this point here, and I'll bring it onto the coal track again. Back up, because that's a 2%, back through, all the way up to here, halt at the bridge, and then reverse back through to this top line, which I've got here, which hasn't been finished, and that will bring it round to the valley stop, which will be up here somewhere. There'll be a mountain with a valley stop up here. So that's the full layout. It's getting there. This side now is nearly done. That corner is nearly done. It's just a few bits and pieces I've got to fit in to finish the scene off. People, some horses at the stables, some little kiddies playing. I want to put in a little Nissan hut there for the scout hut and a scout camp. Some hedging at the front with some gates, because that's a park. I need to put a kiosk in for the holiday makers. You can see there's a charabanc there already. Some picnic tables. And then coming round to here, there's a police station, fire station, and something else will go there, I don't know yet. So again, I need to put some walling in. I need to dig that out down to that road junction. I've started doing some more road markings, and I've got to continue that. And I've got the allotments to finish off yet, and some lights to put into this part of the town. So still got lots to do, but that's the layout as it is. I'm pretty pleased with the progress. 2 years on, starting completely from scratch. I think I've done pretty well. I've probably got another 2 years worth of work in here. Bearing in mind I don't normally do anything in the summer because I've got my garden and other places to be. And in 2 years time then I'll probably, once I've finished with it, got it all computerized, etc., and got it working, I'll probably rip it apart and start again. Well, that's what we do, isn't it? That's what people do. But I am pleased with it. Like I said, it's coming along. So that's the tour of the layout as it is in March 2023. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, hang on, just before we go, I've got some sad news for you all. The funeral of Di Jones is underway, and as we approach, we can see the hearse is there and has dropped his coffin off, and they're taking it through, and you can see the procession going up to the graveside. And here we have Ivor and Rodri waiting patiently. We got Daft David there. He's waiting there with the shovel. He's dug the grave. He's waiting for the party to come and do the honours. And you got the Reverend leading them in. And if you're very quiet, perhaps we can pop in and listen to Ivor chatting away. Ivor, well, there's a sad day for you. Poor Di, finally gone and now laid to rest, and in a sea of e-grave. Mind you, that was his wish, wasn't it, to be with his Mary. Long gone now she is. No one of us, mind. English she was, you see, and him lifelong chapel. Met her on one of his trips to London, he did. He always says she had the best buns in British Railway Cafe. Ha ha ha. Mind you, mun, he had a good run now, didn't he? Man and boy he worked with the coal. First in that hellhole, Gowinian pit, when he was only 8, helping the men load the coal from the blowings he did. Came home each day, black as a chimney sweep he was, like one of them little monkeys they have in the zoo like. And his mam would scruff and scrub him, the life out of him. So she did. Aye, old Betty now, there was a woman. That's how you got his name, you know. Die the shovel. Always carried that shovel with him everywhere. I reckon that's how he got his job on the rails, 'cause he had his own shovel, see? And that station master, Mr. Williams, was no so bloody mean to give some of the company's ones. I bet he pocketed the money, the old skinflint. Anyway, Di got his post on the plate, didn't he now? I was never happier. Up and down that line he went, for donkey's years. Feeding the engine the black stuff, aye. Always waving at you. And proud man. He always said he felt like royalty riding the plate. You know, I even saw him cook his breakfast on his shovel. Now there's a thing. 2 eggs and some rashers from Evan the butcher's, and cooked to perfection they were. Loved his grub, he did. He put his coal on the fire, and Sunday after chapel now, and had to it all week. Rabbit if he could trap one, or some mutton scrap from Evans. That cow would last him all week if it would. Cute he was and all. Waited until just at closing time at Betty's the shop. Bought a stale bread for half the price he did. He didn't mind though. As he said, he always let it soak in a cowl while he let his tea stew, and he could eat it nicely, like without the teeth. Sucking it he did. What a boy. And skin a rabbit? He could quicker skin a rabbit than you could blink. But sometimes that rabbit, he didn't even realise he'd lost his coat before he passed. Oh well, here he comes now, with Reverend Parry, leading a party like, and a beautiful hymn from the boys in the choir inside now. They'll be working up a thirst for the pub later. Broke the mould they did with him, Mama no. Be quiet now by here, and let the Reverend do his job, shall we? bye.